How to survive war. Although no one wants it, unfortunately, people experience war every day. You can cope with this extremely stressful and dangerous situation by staying focused and taking the right steps. Prepare and store essential supplies. Find food and water sources in case supplies become scarce. Avoid confrontation as much as possible and move to a safe area if the situation requires it. Finally, learn basic first aid skills to treat any injuries or illnesses you may encounter. Combining all of these skills, you can keep yourself and your loved ones safe in survival situations. Method 1. Stay safe. 1. Move away from the fighting area if possible. Unfortunately, your home may become unsafe if a war breaks out. If the area where you live becomes dangerous, try to leave and find another place to live. Where you choose to live will depend on how the fighting is progressing. Keep an eye on the fighting and try to gauge which areas are not yet affected. Try to find areas that are away from the main fighting. This may be rural areas or towns that are not strategically important. There may be established civilian safe zones. Go to one of these if there is one nearby. Rural areas may be safer, as fighting is often centered around cities and population centers. However, remember that you will need wilderness survival skills to survive. Also, these areas may be harder to get help from, as aid agencies tend to focus on cities. 2. Find a sturdy brick house with a basement for shelter. These types of houses can withstand most damage and still stand. You should pay special attention to finding a house with a basement. Basements provide extra protection and can also be a place to hide in case you need to hide. Look for suitable houses in your area and move there as soon as possible. Try to find a house that you can seal in case of a chemical attack or leak. Look for windows that are still intact that you can close and seal with damp towels. If there are several suitable houses in your area, make a list of all of them and their locations. This will be useful if you have to move quickly from your current shelter to another one. If there are no suitable houses, find a structure with a basement to hide in. 3. Build a shelter if you are fleeing to the woods. If you are fleeing the city into the woods, your biggest enemy will probably be the weather. Build a shelter as soon as you arrive to protect yourself from the rain, sun, and cold. Maintain your tent by repairing any damage as soon as possible. Choose a location that is easy to hide in case hostiles pass by. To make things easier, try to rely on nature for cover. For example, a fallen tree can act as a support frame for your tent. 4. Avoid confrontation as much as possible. Although war is often about fighting, in reality, people usually survive by avoiding confrontation. Unless you are part of a fighting force, in most cases you will be much safer if you avoid confrontation. Stay low and do not start fights. Take care of your family, friends, and yourself, but try to avoid getting into trouble that does not concern you. If enemy forces enter your area, it is best to hide or avoid interacting with them at all costs. Let them know that you are not a threat. Don't try to steal or hurt anyone, unless it's in self-defense. These actions can eventually lead to confrontations, as people who are pushed to the edge will defend themselves. Avoiding confrontations can also mean getting out of a dangerous area. You should always be prepared for this possibility to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. 5. Learn to use weapons for self-defense or hunting. While you should avoid violent actions, you should always be prepared for this situation. It's much easier if you have weapons in your home and know how to use them. If not, collect any weapons you can find and learn how to use them. Make sure they are easily accessible in your shelter in case you need them. If you have a gun, remember that ammunition may be scarce in an emergency. Also, the sound of gunfire when you practice shooting can attract attention. If you have never fired a gun, you should learn to use it as well as possible without firing it. Don't overlook other possible weapons such as bows and arrows, axes, clubs, or knives. These can help you fight back against an attacker. You should also train your family or group members to use weapons. Your group may be at a disadvantage if only one person knows how to fight. 6. Defend yourself if necessary. For even if you try your best to avoid violence, in some cases fighting is unavoidable. Some people take advantage of a crisis to harm or take advantage of others. If someone wants to harm you or your loved ones or steal the supplies you need to survive, fight if you can. Try to chase away those who are trying to harm you. Having weapons on hand can be very helpful in this situation. Keep them in a safe place out of the reach of children and grab them quickly when needed. In the event that you are forced to defend yourself or your family, having a good relationship with the community can be a great source of support. People can unite to fight back against those who loot or intend to harm the community. Method 2. Finding supplies. 1. Gather all essential items and valuables as soon as a war breaks out. There is often little warning of a war breaking out, so you may not have the opportunity to stock up on supplies. Act as soon as you hear about it. Gather all your valuables, money, food, and water, and store them in a safe place. Hide valuables so that if your home is ransacked, they won't be stolen. If you can, go out and buy as many supplies as you can. Don't wait, or everything will be gone before you need it. Pay special attention to canned or packaged foods and bottled water. Save these supplies for emergencies when clean water and fresh food are scarce. Also, be prepared with medicines and hygiene products. These are important for staying healthy in dire circumstances. Don't forget to keep all important records. Keep your birth certificate, marriage certificate, social security card, and any other documents that prove your identity. This is especially important if you have to leave the country. Other countries may not let you in if you cannot prove your identity and family ties. Withdraw money from the bank to have cash on hand. You may not have access to electronic banking at this time. 2. Locate a water source. Water is the most important resource for humans, and clean water may be scarce in wartime. Bottled water will also not last forever. As soon as war breaks out, find every possible source of water in your area and all other areas you plan to move to. Nearby lakes and streams are good sources of water, but you may have to filter it before drinking. Don't drink salt water if you live near the ocean. Although it is tempting, salt water can make you very sick. Use clean water if you can find it, and try to save bottled water for emergencies. If there is no water source nearby, collect rainwater for drinking and bathing. Take buckets outside to collect water when it rains. Don't forget to clean the rainwater before drinking. 3. Stock up on canned and non-perishable foods. Your regular food supply may be disrupted, so non-perishable foods will be essential. When you hear of a war, stock up on as much of this food as possible. Look for it in stores and anywhere else you see it. This will give you a steady supply of food if your supplies start to run low. During the war, there may be canned food left in abandoned food stores. Pick up any unopened cans you come across. You never know when you might find more food. Try to avoid foods high in salt, which can make you thirsty. These foods will make you drink more water than usual. Ideally, you should always have a 3-day supply of non-perishable food in your home in case of natural disasters or other emergencies. If you have a supply, you won't have to rush to the grocery store when war breaks out. 4. Learn to hunt and fish for protein. If food becomes scarce, you'll have an advantage if you know how to hunt and fish. Practice your foraging and hunting skills to find other sources of meat. You should also practice fishing to get a steady supply of fish. Both of these skills can help you get through food shortages. Learn how to butcher, skin, butcher, and preserve meat so it doesn't spoil before eating. You can hunt not only in the countryside, there are also many small animals in the city that you can catch with traps. 5. Stock up on hygiene products if you can find them. Hygiene products may not be your top priority in a survival situation, but they are more important than you think. Good hygiene can prevent infection and disease, and it can also give you peace of mind. When stocking up on supplies, make sure to stock up on as many hygiene products as you can carry. Also, pick up extras while you're looking for essentials. What important hygiene items include toilet paper, hand sanitizer, toothpaste and toothbrush, soap, feminine hygiene products, and disinfectants. Less essential but important items include combs, razors, shaving cream, and deodorant. While not essential for survival, keeping a good appearance can make you feel much more comfortable in harsh conditions. 6. Identify edible plants in your area. There are edible plants in most places, and knowing what these plants are can help you survive in harsh conditions. Learn about your area and find edible plants and pick them regularly for a steady food supply. If you don't know what a plant is or if it's edible, smell it first. If it smells awful, it's probably not edible. Next, hold the plant against your skin for 15 minutes to see if it itches or burns. If not, hold it against your lips for another 15 minutes, then take a small bite. If you don't feel any burning or stomach pain after 15 minutes, it's probably safe to eat. If you have the means, you can also plant a vegetable garden on your land, but try to keep it hidden. When food supplies are scarce, people may steal your vegetables. 7. Don't waste anything. In times of war, all resources are precious, so save everything you can. Reuse old cloth to make clothes. Cook leftovers to make broth. Collect rainwater. Don't throw anything away. 8. Steal essentials if you have no other choice. Sometimes people have to do things they can't do to survive. If you happen to see essential items or pass by a store that is unattended or seems to be empty, take what you need. This may be unethical, but you and your family need to survive. If you live in a densely populated area, you may come across many abandoned stores. Don't hesitate to go in and look for items you need. If you are on the road, stop and check the houses you pass. The owner may have left something behind. However, do not try to steal things that are being guarded. You could be injured or killed doing so. Method 3. Preventing injury or illness. 1. Learn first aid skills for minor injuries. Unfortunately, people will not be able to avoid injuries ranging from minor to severe in war. You should also learn at least basic first aid skills to treat any injuries you or a loved one may sustain. When you are looking for supplies, take any first aid supplies you can find and create a basic first aid kit. Only wash wounds with clean water. Never use dirty or unfiltered water to clean a wound. Cover any wound with a clean bandage. Change the bandage regularly if possible. CPR can save a life in an emergency. 2. Stay away from weapons and ammunition you come across. Landmines and unexploded ordnance are a major cause of civilian injury and death in war. If you are near a war zone, you will likely see hazardous materials scattered around. Do not touch anything. At best, you could cut yourself. At worst, it could be an unexploded ordnance that could seriously injure you. 3. Maintain personal hygiene to avoid infection. Although it may be difficult, cleaning is an important way to stay healthy. Take a quick shower if you have running water. If not, use one of the water collection methods to clean yourself. Try collecting rainwater in a bucket. Dip a towel in the bucket and rub some soap on it. Use the towel to wipe yourself down, then rinse with rainwater. Try not to waste bottled water on cleaning. You can use unfiltered water for bathing, unless you have an open wound. In this case, you need to filter the water. 4. Filter any unsealed drinking water. Waterborne diseases can be life-threatening in an emergency. If you must use unbottled water for drinking, always filter it first. The most common method is to boil it for 1 minute to kill any pathogens. The next step is to filter out larger particles by pouring the water through a fine mesh or cloth. You don't always know if your water source is contaminated. In any case, you should boil water from a stream or river to be safe. In an emergency, you may find it hard to resist drinking unfiltered water to quench your thirst. Under no circumstances should you drink unfiltered water. You could get a disease or parasite that could be fatal. 5. Eat as healthily as possible. This isn't always possible, and you have to survive on whatever food you can find, but you should try stay healthy by eating as nutritious food as possible. A steady supply of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fatty acids will help boost your immune system and ward off disease. Try to keep your meals balanced if possible. Eat vegetables, fruits, and protein if available. Look for nutrient-dense foods like leafy greens, fish, potatoes, and nuts. These foods contain many of the nutrients you need in your diet. If you can't find fresh food, try to find nutritional supplements. You can find these in stores or in unoccupied homes. Method 4. Stay calm. 1. Keep up with the news about the war situation. Information is important for survival in war. Keep up with the war to know which areas are safe, which are dangerous, and where supplies can be found. This information may be scarce, but there are ways you can stay informed. Social media is a great new way to stay informed. Check Twitter and Facebook updates from people in other areas. Use keywords or hashtags to find the information you are looking for. Portable battery-powered radios are also a good source of information. See if you can find local news stations reporting on the war. Ask outsiders passing through your area for news. Ask where they are from and if they have any news. 2. Maintain relationships with family and neighbors. These personal relationships will help you get through the crisis. Having family around will help you feel less stressed. The duty to protect your loved ones can also help you stay strong in difficult situations. Neighbors may also share food and supplies, so be kind to those around you. These relationships can save your life. If you move to a new area, get to know the locals. You don't have to be close to them, but don't be a stranger either. You may need to rely on their help if fighting spreads to your area. 3. Keep a positive mindset. In any emergency, it is important to stay calm and maintain the ability to think logically. Despair and depression can take over your mind and make it difficult to think clearly. This can be especially difficult in wartime, but it is extremely important to keep a positive mindset. Do everything you can to stay optimistic. Planning and adjusting your plans can help you stay positive. It helps you have a plan in place if something goes wrong. Use techniques to reduce anxiety and stay calm in stressful situations. Building and maintaining good relationships can help you think positively. Warning: remember, this is not a movie or a game. Don't try to experiment with things you see in the movies. Survival requires real-life strategies and solutions.